y'all? Dean Stilley here from the official home of unofficial Grateful Dead music news. Reporting on Dead & Company Summer Tour 2022. The band was in Deer Creek. So I haven't been around in a few shows. I haven't had time to review them. We've been busy around here. My son, a 10U district tournament happening last weekend, and as my daughter's rec league softball season finishing up, playoffs and stuff like that. So just been too busy to report, but a lot has changed since I reported last. Mayor learned the words to Althea. Apparently, David Gans let him know, I can't talk to you without talking to me. Which is funny because I thought if Mayor was following along, he could have cleaned that shit up 6 years ago. We've been talking about that here for a long time now. It's been driving me nuts. I'm glad it doesn't have to drive me nuts anymore. Maybe Gans could let him know that his falsetto backup is atrocious and the weight sucks. I don't know. Anyway, let's just get on with the show and have fun and love each other a long time. So they get this thing kicked off. You have high hopes for Deer Creek because it's a venue that has been known to bring out the best in these guys. So we get it started with Viola Lee, and you think, this is great, right out of the box, boy, they're going to kill it. They're jamming the living daylights out of this one. This is a good time. Kreutzmann's back on drums. When Billy's back, all is right with the world. So you're thinking, wow, this is going to be a roaster. They're coming right out of the gate with some heat, and they're giving it to you with Viola Lee. Then you get Loose Lucy up next. Loose Lucy, I'm sitting here watching the stream at home, the camera angle. So I'm wondering, what this camera angle, why I got to see Weir's molars while he's singing. I never realized how wide open his mouth was. And on the stream, you damn near look like you're going in for an endoscopy or something. I'm waiting to go down the esophagus into the GI tract. We'll check out the health and well-being of Weir's system. I don't know. It's just the way it is, I guess. But boy, you could see the damn scars from where his wisdom teeth were removed. Anyway, there you go. Who gives a shit? Next up, we get Slow Jimmy. And Slow Jimmy was slow, and it was Jimmy. And then we get Friend of the Devil, and some tasty chops on display during Friend of the Devil. I thought it was very entertaining. During parts of that, I'm like, check it out, Weir, he opens his eyes as wide as his mouth nowadays. I don't know, I guess we're changing our approach to how we do things. Listen, if a song is really not that eventful, open your eyes wider, and maybe you'll find something. So anyway, there you go. They love each other's next. This is an indica set. This set is laced with fentanyl. We're putting this cluster of slow shit all right together in the middle of it. And then after that, everybody starts on an entirely different jam, playing an entirely different song that ultimately is an intro for an entirely awful Foolish Heart. I thought Foolish Heart was terrible. That song's going to need a lot of... everybody wanted to hear Foolish Heart. I've been hearing about it for several years. It's not an easy song to play. I didn't want them to really give it a shot myself. So it's not an easy song to play, and it sounds terrible. If you want to hear it sound even worse, listen to Fare Thee Well. You could hear it sound even worse. Anyway, it just... not good at all. The other one, those jams start commencing at a Foolish Heart, and O'Teal, he's throwing darts all over the place. This one is good. This is a good thing to throw there at the end of the first set. You get the first half of the other one, and then they close it with Don't Ease. So all in all, it got off to a great start. So maybe a spirited finish in the middle there, but there was time to have colitis, for crying out loud. You could have had a case of irritable bowel in the middle of that, resolved your problems, and got back in time for music that was worth listening to. I don't know. Anyway, it's all in the spirit of love. Let's get to set two. Set two, here we go. Bill Vanish, Jay's back. We're getting they open it up with the Sailor. We get some amazing compositions here in the second set. You get some of their monsters. They start with the Sailor Saint, and now Jay is back on drums. So this is starting to get like Spinal Tap. There's just a puff of smoke, and now we got another drummer. So there you go. I love Jay. Jay is great. He thumps away, and I love him back there. So the Sailor was great. During that little transition thing, Weir, he says, practice makes perfect. I thought, oh goodness gracious, he just cursed the living daylights out of himself. So he said that before they ran the box of rain in Hampton, the bust out into the ditch. And so it didn't matter. It was such a special moment. Nobody cared. But anyway, here he goes. I think he just cursed himself, and he didn't. They got through that just fine. His freestyling at the end might have been a little bit out of sync and out of time, but it didn't matter. It's a great piece. He's gone after that. That one's always a highly emotional time for everybody. Terrapin, beautiful as expected. Like I said, highly composed pieces with the Sailor Saint and the Terrapin the first half of the second set. So maybe Gans can talk to Weir about how to say cicada in Terrapin. Maybe he could do that and we can clear that up. It's a little thing, I know. And I know some of you will try to say, oh, it's pronounced cicada. It's pronounced either way, according to all the dictionaries and everything else. And Garcia determined it was pronounced cicada, so it's cicadas. Anyway, another little thing, but whatever. Here we go. The Terrapin was outstanding. I loved it. So Billy comes back out for drums. And, you know, here we go. He's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. I don't know. He's back out there for drums. We're going for a band with 3 drummers now, so that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. The space segment, Mickey on the beam in the space segment, that can be a segment where if you're on East Coast time, and here we're on Central, it's getting a little bit late, you've had a long day, you could start getting sleepy during drums in space. Particularly space, but this one, it actually woke me up. I thought it was great. Mickey's segment on the beam was outstanding last night. He did some super cool stuff. I loved how he was playing around, and it actually woke me up. So space has the ability to maybe put you to sleep, but last night it woke me up. So that's all right. They would get to work trying to put me back to sleep. Jeff, he leads Watchtower out of space. His piano leads Watchtower out of the space, and I didn't like this one as much as I liked the last one. It was back to a lot of very long and awkward spaces in between the verses, and the jams were just fine. Nothing wrong with that, but that one does nothing for me most of the time. They finish up the other one. That's always going to be a rager of a time. That was good. They got everything swirling around just right. Standing on the Moon is up next, and that's just fine. Weir gets a mild case of Be With Yous, and then a Love Light closes the show. So, listen, they encore, they throw the stink bomb out there. They figure this show was kind of mediocre. Let's just make it lean towards bad by ending on the wait. The wait is just atrocious. This is like a talent show at the Villages outside of Orlando. Retirement community is going to host a talent show. Beatrice and Agnes are so excited because Beatrice's handsome young grandson is going to be there playing with the band, Beatrice Mayer. And her handsome grandson's going to be there playing with the band. She's so excited. So they go to the talent show there at the Villages, and the band plays The Wait, and they finish 5th. So, at the Villages talent show, this is just atrocious. It's an awful song on them. They sound terrible on it. It's Amateur Hour City. It's even O'Teal can't save that sinking ship. He tries hard, but it's just terrible. So there you go. There's Deer Creek. We're having a good time. It's summer. I absolutely love summer. Big shows, big sound, big lights. The whole big experience is always well worth going out and taking in. This one for me fell flat. It had some great moments, there's no doubt about that. There's some moments that I really enjoyed. Funny that Space was really at the top of my list of that, but the viola was great. Some really interesting jams in Loose Lucy. I always love the Sailor Saint. Terrapin always makes it well worth the effort to get there if you catch that. And there you go. There's my highlights and my take on it. One guy's opinion, I'm sure for some it was the best show ever. There you go. We'll talk to you when we talk to you next. I'm not sure when, maybe after Pine Knob. Have a blast if you're going there. Stay safe and spread love. I love you forever.